They're meant to be war heroes, but having risked their lives for their country, they're homeless in the land of the free. An estimated 200,000 American war veterans are living on the streets or in shelters, a state of affairs likely to be exacerbated with another 1 million servicemen and women stream home from Iraq and Afghanistan over the next 5 years. With unemployment among recently returned veterans 3% higher than the national average, the US president has managed to push through Congress new measures to help ex-soldiers find work, one of the few elements of Barack Obama's stalled jobs plan, which has found bipartisan support. North America correspondent Jane Cowan has his special report from Dallas, Texas for Lateline.
This isn't how Larry imagined his life would turn out. Having graduated with a degree in sociology and served his country as a sniper in Vietnam, he's living beneath a freeway overpass.
I, 64 years old, I spent 7 months looking for a job. I went to every job fair imaginable here in Dallas, Texas. I didn't get one call back. No, nothing. I have degrees, I have experience, so, I mean, who's going to hire an old man?
Drugs and the death of his wife began a downward spiral.
One day I just didn't go home. I just didn't go home. I can't, to this day, I cannot explain to you what just kept. I thought about going home that night, and it was drugs.
Now this patch of dirt is home.
How do you ever get any rest here with the noise from the highway?
Well, basically, I blank it out. It's like I said, it's just like being in the military. You got artillery going off beside you, you have to sleep through that,
Everything is scavenged, including water from a nearby fire station.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I mean, it's hell, I could love to Vietnam. We were the same thing, except we don't have people shooting at us over here.
They call this Tent City, a slice of the third world in the wealthiest nation on earth. Here, grown men and women live inside cardboard boxes.
Best we better do the best you can. Cause survival out here.
How long have you been living like this?
About 20 years now.
There are an estimated 200,000 war veterans living like this across America.
My name is Winfred Cross. I'm one of the outreach caseworkers.
Winfred Cross spends his days seeking out the homeless one by one.
Okay. Are you the gentleman that usually sleep here?
Sometimes sleep here.
Yeah. You've shaved, haven't you?
Yeah, just a minute.
Oh, man, you look wonderful.
It's an endless task, post-traumatic stress complicated by mental illness, drugs and alcohol.
Okay. Look it up.
You're not having any problems? No
Look
shakes?
it up.
Okay.
I drink 7 days a week, man.
Okay. What would happen if you stopped drinking, though?
Nothing.
These liquor stores are where the homeless come to. And again, because of their addiction, they will continue to come to the location where beer can be bought cheap, wine can be bought, and they'll consume it all day rather than going in the proper medication that they need.
We find another Vietnam veteran begging in the midday sun. He tells us Agent Orange wrecked his eyesight in his 30s.
If you knew you were going to end up living like this, would you still have decided to go and fight for your country?
Without a doubt. Sure I would have. Yeah. I live here, it's my home. I'm a part of this United States,
You must feel let down, though, by the system.
Not really. I let myself down, but, there's always a chance. You got breath in you, I feel I rebound, if I live, Yeah. And I feel it's a making. It's called. I figured, I probably get back into the mainstream of society. I haven't completely given up.
That war will be fought by them
until the day they die.
Ron Cowett is a retired police officer, former hostage negotiator, and himself a wounded combat veteran who now runs a crisis intervention program targeting the hardcore homeless. He's seen veterans die from heat exposure.
So they die, and when they die, we have a dead person in the bushes, and then we find out later they were a veteran. You think tears aren't shed by everybody with that? It's probably it's probably the most tragic thing that America could ever look at is how we treat those veterans, especially those who came from the inner cities and the ghetto areas, because it was the only way they can escape. And when they got into that military, we trained them to be fighting men. We trained them to be on the lookout for potential dangers. But when we release them, they come home. And when they come home, are we ready for them?
Across town, a homeless shelter brims with war veterans who've been able to negotiate the system well enough to at least get a roof over their heads.
You know, I'm cleaned up. I'm 10 months sober now.
I wonder how you feel about your country and the military.
Mixed emotions. You know, I feel like what's going on now is another Vietnam, more or less.
Among the ranks of homeless war veterans are increasing numbers of women.
Sometimes I feel like that we're the forgotten ones.
Kimberly Armstrong served in the Navy during Operation Desert Storm, where she was raped by a fellow officer.
I got out in '91. By 2001, I was, I was in a mental hospital, and then in 2004, I started using methamphetamines. How am I living now? I'm living in a homeless shelter. My children, I haven't been in their lives for the past 6 years 5 years because of dealing with this.
It's a problem even the highest military brass acknowledge.
We did it in Vietnam, and we are doing it again. We're generating a homeless generation, and if we're not careful, we'll do the same thing we did last time.
There's a lot of young guys who'll be coming home now from the wars in Iraq.
Trouble. They are in trouble. Thank you. They are in deep trouble, okay? Because Sam ain't gonna do nothing for you.
This isn't the kind of thing you expect to see in a country that celebrates its war heroes. Only about 10% of Americans ever go to war, but war veterans make up a third of the homeless population. The US government has the ambitious stated goal of ending veterans' homelessness within 5 years. But those who see this kind of thing up close every day are sceptical, to say the least.
As long as you have people that's choosing that life came down to a box, and as long as we're waiting for them to come to us with all of our bureaucratic, overcrowded, chaotic facilities, that logjam is going to stay. That's going to stay jammed there.
Which means people like Ernest are on their own.
What's the future for you?
Bleak. Bleak. I'll be 57 years old Sunday. It's bleak.
America's wars might be winding down overseas, but a whole new front is opening up at home. Jane Cowan, Lateline.